Margaret Maloney here, your PM student community leader. Let's talk about 4 ways to deal with toxic colleagues. As if that's a thing that you ever have to handle, huh? You know, the challenge is that sometimes one difficult colleague can really equal a lot of stress for us. And stress equals a reduced immune system and high blood pressure. And it can, trickle into other things in our lives, our personal lives. It impacts our job performance. And if we can minimize stress from having to deal with people that are difficult for us, that is absolutely something that we should invest our time and energy in. So let's look at 4 things that we can do. Well, one of the first things you can do is to try being direct. And what that means is to really talk to this person. They might actually find you to be difficult too. Shocking, I know. But there's a saying that I like to use, which is none of us are difficult all of the time, but all of us are difficult some of the time. So try talking to your difficult person. They might not be aware of the fact that they're difficult. And when you do, you really want to approach them from a place of openness and problem solving, and not problem solving as in they are the problem, as in we could work together better. You want to be honest about what's challenging for you and be sincere in your hope that you really can work together better and that you come out of this as stronger colleagues, not just sincerely as in you think you're fixing them. You want to be reasonable and listening to what they have to say and perhaps why they're doing a certain thing. Be understanding. This could be a person who in their way is under a lot of stress or doesn't even know that what they're doing is bothering you. And definitely approach them with respect. And, it might work. You don't know. I know years ago, I had a colleague come to me and tell me that she didn't like the way I joked. And at this moment, I don't remember what it was, but there was just something about my sense of humor, which of course I thought was hysterical. And she did not think it was hysterical. And she came to me in a nice way, explained to me that she didn't like sometimes the way I joked about things and that she wanted me to be a little bit more serious. And she did it in such a nice way that I listened, and I can't promise I 100% changed my sense of humor, but I was certainly much more careful about how I joked around her, which I think did lead me to be more careful in terms of my joking tone at work. And I think that it probably was only a good thing. So in a way, she helped me. Well, if if you're not able to speak to them or nothing positive comes from your discussion, maybe you need to find ways to cope with your difficult person. Are there ways that this can be a source of inspiration for you? For example, when you're finding them to be difficult with something, does it give you an opportunity to dig in and teach yourself new methods of self-awareness and self-control? Does it allow you to practice those mindful moments that everyone's talking about all the time, just taking a moment and breathing? Or can they inspire you to find ways that you don't actually need to work as much with them, so you can find a way to make maybe the process more efficient or, minimize some of the touch points in your work? That's something you can do too. Sometimes we do involve a third party. We want to really be careful and think through this before we go and involve a third party. But you know what? Sometimes we need help. And depending on why you're having a hard time with a colleague and why you're finding them to be toxic, it might make sense to bring it to someone else. Maybe they are doing something that is harmful in the workplace and emotionally and physically harmful to you and others. So it is okay to ask for help. When you do, you want to be factual. You don't want to bring the drama. You don't want to be stabbing this person in the back. You don't want to make it to be a personal attack. You just want to be honest and maybe bring some solutions. For example, it might be something as simple as, if maybe I sat in the next 2 rows over, this wouldn't bother me as much. Or maybe if we had better role definitions and some, a clear break between my role and her role, maybe that would help with some of the conflict we're experiencing. So it's okay to ask for help and to bring it to another person. You just want to, of course, bring it to the right person and bring it with the spirit of how can this be better? Not in the spirit of this person needs to be fired or this person is terrible or if you don't do this, I'm going to quit, But that being said, sometimes you do need to move on. If you are in a situation with a toxic colleague and they are unwilling or unable to change, you're not able to find coping mechanisms, you're not able to get assistance with it or not the kind of assistance that you want, and you're feeling like you're trapped in a toxic environment, it's okay to leave because your well-being is so important. And if you've already, if you've gotten what you can get from, personal growth and career growth from this particular position, absolutely, maybe it is time to move on. It's not always the answer. We can't quit every time we work with someone difficult, but, look within yourself and see, is this the time? And something that we need to remember too is, good teams where we have high performing, productive teams and we work well together and it's strong and you're happy working with, all of the people around you. That is an amazing situation that needs to be cultivated and grown and carefully watched over. And to be part of that, you and I need to be good team members too. So there you are, 4 ways to deal with toxic colleagues. Wishing you every success. Bye for now.